Well, at least someone's happy. We're live. NFC Championship game. Coach, Yanni, JJ. I'm MFing the TV. I just lost the team total over in the first half with the Packers. I lost Packers -2.5 first half. This is not how I saw this going, but here we are. Tampa 21-10. Does anybody have Tampa team total overs? Because that's about to hit already. Jesus, guys.
23.5 going in, I believe. So
yeah, just a field goal.
You're almost there. Who wants to take it away first? I mean, Coach probably first. You've been on Tampa all through the playoffs. You put your money where your mouth is. You've got Tampa money line here. Hey, good bet. It's only halfway home, but good bet so far. I can't believe that touchdown happened at the end of the half there. I'm still a little bit in shock, a little bit pissed off.
I came down here to get set up and figured, okay, they're going to punt it, half over. And then I think, one of JJ or Yanni was like, oh, they're going for it.
Yeah.
As I turn it on, I just see Scotty Miller like this catching a touchdown. So, it feels good. Got, plus 168 money line before the game. Put a couple hundred on that, so that's nice. But, been on them the whole time. And kind of what is happening is, it's playing out what I thought. The corners are playing well. They're getting beat at times. It's going to happen. It's the Packers. They played well. Getting Devin White back, I believe, as the linebacker is huge for Tampa Bay because they already have Levante. Devin White's made a bunch of plays already. So, it's a lot of good stuff going on. Just super pumped. One of those happy to be here just to gloat.
Just a gloat, so we'll see what happens. I hope that Tampa, kind of shits their pants in the second half. We'll go to JJ and Yanni next. But for all the commenters, please feel free to comment, leave your second half bets, leave your thoughts so far. I'm probably the most pissed off I've been during a halftime stream all season. Happy to be here, fellas. Yanni, what do you have to say about the first half? And JJ, take it from there also.
Well, you nailed it. It's a little deflating. I think we all felt pretty good about the game script starting with Green Bay early and then potentially flipping in the second half. Didn't happen. We had the point total at 13.5 for Green Bay. Probably should have gotten that. I don't know when Devontae Adams drops passes like that, but it happens. It happens. It happens. And, kudos to Tampa Bay for coming in there and playing very aggressively on both sides of the ball. I think they're dominating the line of scrimmage really on both sides of the ball, which is huge. And Rodgers just doesn't look comfortable. They just don't look like that high-flying Green Bay offense. Now, if you're Green Bay prior to that touchdown at the end of the half, even though you were down, you were probably feeling okay. But you got to wonder, that touchdown, that has the potential to be a deflator. Remember last week when the Browns coughed the ball up going into the end zone? That was kind of a deflator there. And you got the same type situation with that Tampa touchdown at the end of the half. So I don't know. I am, if I'm a Packers fan, I am very worried going into the second half for two reasons. Number one, that play before the end of the half being down 11. And they just haven't played great in second halves this season, whereas Tampa has. So I'm a little concerned at this point if I'm a Green Bay fan.
Yeah, the Packers haven't had to play well in the second half really the entire season. They haven't been down by 11 or 10 plus that many times. They went down against Tampa in what was that, week 4, week 5, and we know how that ended. They put up 10 early, then they ended up going down. They got their asses kicked in that game. They haven't really had to do this in the second half. We'll see what happens here. If I'm a Packers fan or a Packers backer, I've lost some Packers money already, but if I have Packers full game, I don't like what I see. Live line, I should probably throw that out there. For the game right now, FanDuel's listing Packers +4.5, +198 on the money line, -250 Tampa Bay money line. 58.5 is the over-under. Where are we at right now? 21-10, 31. Okay. So 27.5 for the second half, 27.5.
Something to think about real quick, right? So Packers were the best second quarter team in the league. They covered that in the broadcast, right? 254, 2 points, whatever it was. That's where they do a lot of their damage. Tampa Bay survived that and outscored them, right? And that's dangerous. And Tampa Bay, I think, averages like 8.8 points a game in the third quarter or some ridiculous number, and that's their quarter. Like of all the quarters they have, that's really where they separate themselves. So the next quarter is really going to tell the tale. But I do think there's some nice bets, and I'll let everybody else go. I'm sorry, JJ, I jumped in, but I think there's some nice bets going along on the passing side of things here. Yeah,
I'm with Coach. I played the money line on Tampa early this week. I got the plus 180. Not as heavy as Coach, but in good shape. Where if that and the full game over come through, I'll end up positive on the game. So I'm thinking, okay, how do I? I'm not sure if it's trying to protect my downside or if I want to take advantage of the situation here. What are you seeing as far as how Tampa's going to play the second half in relation to Green Bay? I mean, is this a Green Bay comeback spot, or are we looking at a repeat of week 6? Which, I mean, when we previewed this game, one of my first thoughts was you got to throw that game out. But I mean, now we're starting to look more and more like it, except we're in Green Bay.
So the thing about week 6 is that I feel like Rodgers and the team just kind of gave up at a certain point. And I know you're not supposed to give up, but you live to play in week 7 and they were undefeated at that point. And they say, all right, take our licks and just head home. They're not going to do that in this case. I think Tampa's going to a fault, run the ball a little bit in the second half. And they haven't had success on the ground, 3.8 yards per rush. They did have that one big one to play off Lenny, as we're calling him right now. But Fournette ripped it off on that one. I think that they're going to run the ball, allow Green Bay to have a chance to come back in this game. Who gets the ball at the start of second half? Packers need to convert on that drive, and they need 6 on that drive. Like they honestly need 6.
Yeah, this first drive out of halftime is critical. If the Packers don't score on this drive, and obviously there's still plenty of time left, but if they don't score on this first drive, I think they're toast. I really believe that. I think they need to come out and score.
I agree. So basically, if you're going to bet on the Packers, you're basically betting, are they going to score on the first drive and then hold their own from there? And is Bruce Arians just going to, run the ball, or is he going to say, hey, Tom Brady, you've been here 14 times before in the championship game. Go get us there. Go get us 42 points, because Green Bay still could put up a 30-something spot. It's still possible. Green Bay should have more points as is. Rodgers with a turnover too, by the way. How about that? That's something that we don't see.
Nice pick. That was just a nice.
Hell yeah.
That was a very good play. Yep.
Yeah. You can't get mad at Rodgers for that. He put it where it should have been, maybe a little further out in front, but
and things are going right for Tampa Bay right now. I mean, almost everything has gone right for Tampa. Do I see that continuing to happen? That's what we got to figure out here. So we're at it, 58 and a half.
I'll say this for the second half in terms of actual bets we should be looking at. It's the passing numbers, right? So whether you want to go over for receivers or running backs, passing attempts is a big one I've been staring at actually while we've been talking. Aaron Rodgers is sitting at 19 attempts right now. He's going to be slinging it. He has to be. They can't sit there and run the ball down 11, right? So he's at 41.5. Over under is 41.5, minus 126 on the over. I'd hit that all day. He's going to be throwing it 44 to 47 times. That's his number for today based on how this game is played, and they have to, right? There's no way that Tampa Bay is not going to score any points, so they're going to have to keep up. On the flip side of that, Tom Brady has 22 attempts, and his over under is 38. Now, the number on FanDuel speaks to what Derek said about running, because the over is plus 102 at 38.5. So that's, FanDuel agrees with you, but I would also tell you FanDuel's a pretty crappy book and doesn't read games.
Pretty shitty book at times.
Just a tad.
Okay, so take it from there. In terms of over under 27.5 and sides, are you guys leaning anyway?
Where do I find that at?
I'm on FanDuel. I'm on FanDuel.
FanDuel. All right. So I do like that Aaron Rodgers bet. I like the bet for him to go over pass yards. They're not going to run the ball that much. Like 5 total runs, and they could probably run the ball 0 times and be okay.
He's going to keep completing passes. It's going to happen. They're going to be putting up points. I mean,
yeah, you can also get Devontae Adams over 45 yards second half. I think he'll go over. Same logic that Coach had there. That's a little bit of a double up for us, or at least for me, because I know I've got Devontae Adams over 7 catches. But again, I think it's more likely now that he hits his catch mark and yardage mark just based on the game script. So kind of to Coach's point there, if you like those attempts, or Devontae Adams, 45 yards for that guy's nothing in a game where they're going to be throwing. So
I agree with that. I'm going to post both of those. I like both of those. I don't have much of an opinion in terms of the over under 27.5. That's about right. Minus 6.5. That might even be a little bit juicy, too much for the Packers there. I mean, given they really just need to score on that first drive. If they don't score on that first drive, they're not covering 6.5. Tampa's putting up 35 points.
I think you got to consider that Tampa plus 6.5. I mean, it's plus 105 right now. And I mean, it's very possible Green Bay makes this interesting. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't know. Based on kind of what we've seen in history, I think if you do want to bet that side, I think you got to take the plus 6.5 there. That's my take. But I like the Adams and Rodgers bets more than I do the side, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it was Adams over 47.5, right? I typed it and then I accidentally deleted everything.
It's 45 on Bovada.
Okay.
Whatever that's worth.
All right.
Yeah, 45 is a nice number in the second half. I mean, that's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. They're going to force feed him the ball. They need to, get downfield. They need their playmakers to make plays. You saw him try to do it early with a really quick throw to him. He got that 15 yards right around the edge. I mean, they don't need him to run deep routes to make plays. They don't.
We're going to go with those, and I'm going to put the lean underneath it, too, is Tampa plus 6.5. I'm not going to lie. I like the plus 6.5. It's just a matter of if I bet it right now and just kind of tell myself that Green Bay -3 is just out the window. All right, so how about we talk about that?
Oh, my.
Are the Packers done? Do you think the Packers come back in this game? Because I don't.
I'll jump in. So I thought originally this was going to be like a 34-30 game or 34-31, whatever, right around in there. So I think the Packers put the press on, but unless Tampa folds, I think it's their game. I really do. I mean, obviously the score says that, but I really do think the way they've been playing it, Todd Bowles set a great game plan. He's been disguising a lot of things, moving guys in and out of the box, pre-play just to give Rodgers different looks. I don't think you're going to see any more Green Bay turnovers, although Aaron Jones did fumble the ball, and luckily their guy got it. So, my brain keeps telling me that first drive is the most important thing that's going to happen in the next 20 minutes.
I agree. And D-Nice, you brought up a really good point in the fact that Green Bay isn't used to playing from behind. I mean, they've been winning at halftime all year. So, how do they come out knowing they're down by 11 points? Are they tense? Do they just come out chucking? What's kind of the mindset there? And I don't think any of us know that for sure until we see it. But it's just an interesting dynamic to see because they're not used to playing in that mold this season.
They're really not. And we're going to see how they react to it. I mean, they are moving the ball. They're 6.1 yards per play. 7.1 yards per play for Tampa is not what the doctor ordered for Green Bay and all those fans in the stands. And how about that? Like there's crowd noise in this game too. And for the first time probably all season, Tom Brady has to deal with crowd noise. Doesn't affect him. This is his 15th NFC championship game overall, first in the NFC. But he's been here before.
You know what, though? I mean, we're seeing the all-time cliches of sports and sports betting in this game. I mean, Tampa's winning the line of scrimmage. They're winning the turnover battle. They're winning on third down. I mean, Green Bay had them in third and long 4 times.
Couldn't get it. Yeah.
Couldn't get off the field. And then Tampa in the red zone, 1 touchdown, 1 field goal. So, again, all those cliches, you can call them cliches, but Tampa's doing it. And I mean, that's kind of the difference in this game.
The kind of
7 of 10, third down Tampa.
Yeah, and the defining play, I think, is that Godwin 3rd and 15 little screen, middle screen play. And it just said, okay, so they're going to do whatever they want right now. I mean, and by and large, that is held true. And it's when you see that from a defense, that's either a defensive coordinator making poor play calls, abandoning the middle of the field on a deep play or a long yardage third down, which that's what that looked like. Or you just have players that aren't locked in. And, King, I can't remember his first name, the corner right now for Green Bay does not look locked in. He was out all week with a back injury. I think he's trying to force himself into the game, and it's showing. I mean, he's gotten burned twice now.
Yeah, one other thing, too, you guys as basketball fans, you know how it is when your team's playing and the shot clock's running down for the other team and they kind of chuck it up and they bank it in and you're like, you know what? It's not our day. And you kind of look at this. It's like Brady threw up basically a 50-50 ball to Godwin, and Godwin came down with it. I mean, that could have been picked. That could have. But it's kind of. You wonder though. Adams drops that pass, the interception that Rodgers threw. There could have been a holding call. They didn't call it. So you wonder, is it? And again, not to be too superstitious, but you wonder maybe it's just not Green Bay's day. Maybe it's not their day, and everything's fallen in their favor.
And then it's Tom Brady's day again for like the 10th time in a championship game, or probably 9th time at this point. He's got 6 wins, 2 losses, 6 wins, 3 losses. So this would be a 10th. Yeah, 10th time. So it would be 10th time. Okay.
at that comment.
Oh yeah, comment.
Plus
I missed
money
the comment.
if you want.
Tampa Bay over 31.5. Over
Interesting.
31 and a
You're
half.
going to get a couple TDs.
Yeah, because I was about to say score prediction. I would say like 35-27 Tampa, and I think that Green Bay comes back to a certain extent, but falls short. 35-27 hits that plus 6.5. Anybody here think Green Bay comes back and does it? Because you look like a hero if they come back and do it, but I don't see it. And to Yanni's point, it might just not be their day.
Yeah.
I mean, the turnover battle's going their way, every third down conversion. Hats off to Brady and to, Tampa. And I guess the play calling wasn't big on the play callers, but we'll see what happens second half here. Okay. All right. Hopefully this is the low point for me in my betting day. And hopefully I'm a lot happier.
Up from here, man. Stay
up from
positive.
here. It's probably going to press me to, bet something a little bit on the second game because I was going to stay off of the Bills and Chiefs, but we'll see what happens. Coach
Not a good day for
you. About something. Huh?
Not a good day for you.
Oh, no? All right.
Aaron just fumbled the ball, and Tampa Bay recovered it.
Well, that's why there's 2 games.
And they have it on like the 8-yard line.
Did they count it?
Woo!
I don't know. I'm watching. Hold
on. How about that?
Yeah, that's a fumble. That's if that's not a fumble, I will be amazed.
That helps Rodgers' pass attempts and Devontae Adams over for sure.
That's very true. It's going to go up from there. So we have that going for a second half. Fellas, I'll see most of you back halftime in a few hours. Let's see what happens here. I'm hoping it's a competitive game. All right. Bills Mafia coming up. In an hour.